What a huge week we've had here, too, on the National Football Show. I want to thank every single one of you. How you doing? Boom! Woo! Big Sales, how you doing's in the house? Football Friday, enormous week for us. All because of you. We thank you very much for coming aboard, as you do every single day. We thank you for stepping in with us. Army-Navy this week. Real quick before I get into Eagles and Giants, let me say this to you guys. That game I used to think was the worst football game on the planet till I started going to it. I went to 10 of them in a row. I'd rather go to that game than the Super Bowl. Once I started going and I started seeing and talking to those kids, some of them would not come back. Some of them were going to Afghanistan. It's the last true college football game that we have. Look at these stupid bowl games. Wake me up when the national championship semifinals. These other bowl games. Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, mean nothing. The national championship semifinals and the title game have de-emphasized the bowl season. It's the worst part of college football. No one cares. No one goes. No one has an interest. The players don't even play in them. But when you go to Army-Navy, these guys aren't pros. These guys serve their country. And when you watch the march out and you see the men and women and our nation's finest, no matter what the color is, black, white, Asian, Mexican, Italian, Jewish, all of them are there at the walkout and the march out. And you watch this thing, it's awe-inspiring. You're like, there's our country's finest right there. Boy, I get chills just talking about it. I love that game, Army-Navy. Not so much for the game, because the game, the game's been competitive, though. But I love the surrounding and everything about it. Yes, there's Jewish folks that are involved at Army-Navy and religious. It's really wonderful. Army-Navy, I'm more of a Navy guy. I've gone to the Army-Navy game, and I've sat, of course, with Roger Stahl. Roger Staubach's a dear friend of ours. I got a great picture of me and Roger. I think it was at a Super Bowl. He and I are really good friends, and I love Roger Staubach. Okay? I really do. So that game is such a great football game. The rest of these college games that are coming up, good for the kids, the bowl games. But, I mean, look, Will Anderson and Bryce Young, why would they play? What's the game? Xander, what are they playing in? The Sugar Bowl? Why would they play in the Sugar Bowl? Hey, Barrett Brooks' K-State may actually beat Bama. Because you know what half that roster is going to do that's going to go to the NFL? They're not going to play in it. Why would they? Okay? I'm a Navy guy. I like Navy. I salute that game, man. I watch that game and support that game as much as I can. I showed you Vince Papali. He signed that for me. Do I have a couple more? I do have some footballs. Oh, I got some really cool coins that were from Army-Navy. And these guys gave them to me. This is from the National Guard and Militia of Florida that went to the game in Philadelphia a couple of years ago. And this is the aviation honor, courage, and commitment. Peace through power. And the commander of the academy gave me this for my support of Army-Navy. Love that game. Love that game. Chocolate coins? Chocolate coins? Funny. And Very cool. All right. Giants and Eagles. Sileo wants Hurts in poverty. I could give a shit about what are you talking about? Seals, you stand up the whole show? Yeah, man. Okay. Hey, JM, good call. Xander, we should probably do that for the new year. I'll auction a couple of these Jerome Brown hats off for some of you guys. I posted a really great picture of Jerome and his best friend, Tim Jenkins, on my Twitter page. They got a nice picture of Jerome in the background. It's really cool. I posted it on my Twitter page. Hi, what up, my friend? Go Army. Navy SEAL gets it done. Ray, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Gator Navy. Okay. It's cool when Josh Allen gets paid, but it's a travesty when Hurts is about to get paid. A travesty? No. It'll be in the same line as with Josh Allen is 10 times better. There's no travesty. Kyler Murray sucks. I don't know. I see the same guy. I'm not paying Dak. I'm paying Mahomes. I'm questioning the paying of Lamar. The Dak Prescott deal is terrible. Josh Allen is a phenomenal. Let's see how many touchdown passes. Hurts is way better than who? Kyler Murray? Congratulations. Congratulations. Let me see some about Josh Allen here. God, is that guy phenomenal. Josh Allen stats. Man, what a ball player. So this guy's got 3,406 and 25 touchdowns. He's got 11 picks, and he's still the number one seed in the AFC. Man, that's my boy. Things may not go right all the time. Doesn't matter. He'll win games. Man, I love this kid. Let's take a look at the guy. So 45, 44, 37 touchdowns, 44, 07, 36 touchdowns. This year he's on pace for 46 touchdowns. And you're kidding me. This guy's 25 years old? Okay. Yeah. Josh Allen's 25 years old? I'll take him. You can have your boy. And here's Allen. Here's Allen. Here's Allen throwing 99 yards. Hey, Xander, watch this one. Boom. Here's Jalen. Let me get the arm warm up. Like throwing grenades. Here's Allen. Oh. Josh Allen, baby. Back in the pocket. 99 yards, 88 yards. Here's Jalen. It's all right. Yeah. Josh, look at Martell. Josh Allen's nowhere near as smart. Well, he's making $43 million. He's got the number one seed in the AFC. I think he's doing pretty well. Oh, Arthur. Yeah, really? You really I wouldn't ask a dumb question like that. Watch this. If I asked 32 general managers, who would you take to build your team around? Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? Who do you think they would take? Honestly. Who do you think they would take? If you put Josh Allen on that Eagle team, They beat teams by 60 points. He could throw 10 picks and still beat you. They would take Hurts. 50-50. Oh, man. Dude, are you kidding? Come on. Don't be like that. 10 picks and yeah, Cody, that's it. That's Allen would be injured by playoffs. Not your guy, though, right? No, because they do have Miles Sanders. We'll see next year. That's a lie? What? Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are the number one seed in the AFC right now. Oh, man. This is too much and too easy. James Bradbury. Josh Allen won't shit without Diggs. Oh, okay. I see. So we'll see what Jalen does without AJ or Devonta. He couldn't get – it would be like last year. Here, watch this. Hey, Xander, here it is again. Jalen Hurts in the playoffs versus the Bucs and Brady last year. Game. How the Eagles versus Brady in the playoffs last year. Game. Seals, you act like Miles Sanders had 1,000 yards. No, he's going to have 1,200 this year, 1,300. You act like he's not on pace for that. He is. He's on pace for 1,300 yards this year. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Look at that. Dang, he choked against the Vikings and still in the number one seed in the AFC. He'll have the same week off that Jalen will have. No matter what the record is. Hypothetically, let's do this. Say they are 11-4. And the Eagles are 16-1. Bills got the same week off you got. You don't get extra points, dude. This isn't like, when you're Final Four and picking the college football playoffs. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Whether you're 16-1 or 11-4, 11 and whatever, as long as you got the bye, I got the same week off you got, doesn't really matter. That's how pathetic the AFC is. The AFC has holes in their teams. I told you this in the last hour. Why is it so hard for you to understand when you got to start paying these guys? The best quarterbacks are in the AFC. Okay, you're right. You guys face Cooper Rush and Tyler Heineke in back-to-back weeks. Let's take a look here who Allen's had to play in consecutive weeks at quarterback. You're right. Their teams aren't as gifted as your team. Well, because your quarterback is he's at the soup kitchen line. Buffalo Bills schedule. On Sunday. Yeah, your quarterback is on the soup kitchen line. Let's take a look at this. So, this is who Josh Allen has had to play in consecutive weeks when he's taken on quarterbacks, whereas Jalen has taken on David Mills, Kenny Pickett, Tyler Heineke, washed up Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers. The greatness of Tyler Heineke, I can't get over that one. Here's who Josh Allen's had to play in consecutive weeks. Tua, Lamar, Mahomes, Rodgers, Cousins. Yeah. Burrow. And who are you playing? Let's see who the quarterbacks Jalen's played this year. Kirk Cousins, Rodgers. David Mills, Kenny Pickett. You've played bums. Played bums. Sills is skipping games. I did. There were a couple Jets in there. And the greatness is Zach Wilson. I did. Fair enough. I gotta be fair. And you know what, Sway? Sway brings up golf. He did play against golf, too. Golf's having a great year. Golf is really having a great year. Okay? Having a great year. Hurts is being supplanted by Tua at Alabama has given his kid resolve and humility. And it shows he's mature and understands what he needs to do. Steven, agreed. I think that had a lot to do with his growth as a leader on what happened and how he, you know what, Steven? I would make this point to you that I think the way Jalen handled it, I bet his dad had an influence in him and how he handled that. Because it was handled perfectly, I thought. Okay? Steven goes, you should quit when we win the Super Bowl. Why, Steven? I picked you to get there. He did? Wait a minute. Sileo picked the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl? Yeah, March. Wait, no. He couldn't have. He did. And I actually picked him against the Bills. But I did pick the Bills to beat you. Jalen is humble. Too humble. Jalen Hurts is too humble. You know why? As much as Mahomes, you know what Mahomes has? I'll tell you one thing that Mahomes has. Can I tell you what I think that the Eagles don't do a very good job of? You guys don't promote your athletes ever. From your MVP and Embiid to Harper. Harper did win the MVP, I get it. But he has a national. The person in that city of Philadelphia, the only guy with a national presence is Bryce Harper. The rest of them, Embiid was third in the MVP voting. Seriously, when I saw that, I went like this. Man, this city doesn't do a very good job. And I'm talking about their professional team. How's Embiid finish third? I thought Embiid was the best player in the NBA last year. I did. I actually thought it was pretty significant of a gap. Okay? Attack whose character? I'm not attacking anybody's character. I'm just saying that he's too nice. And that's what happens when you have people that are humble. Well, let me ask you something here. He goes, Sills, don't attack his character. Let me ask you this. How do you think that helped Tim Duncan out being like Jalen Hurts? How do you think it helped him out on how people look at Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan is more accomplished than O'Neal, but people look at Shaq differently. Why? Because Tim Duncan is a humble man. He's not a bragger. He doesn't promote anything except team. Gee, sounds like Jalen Hurts. How many times have we used to say this about the Spurs getting to the NBA Finals? Oh, shit. No one's watching because the big fundamentals in it. I mean, right? And I always looked at Tim Duncan as a centerpiece of one of the greatest dynasty runs of all time. It wasn't Greg Popovich. Okay, it was the general manager, and it was Duncan, and it was Ginobili, and it was Tony Parker, and it was all those guys with those great character guys that they had in the locker room. And they had pieces to fill in. Once those guys left, Greg Popovich looks like a turd. You think that humble personality helped Tim Duncan out when it came to national recognition? Did you ever see Tim Duncan do a commercial spot? Maybe one or two in his 18 years? That's why people look at Jalen Hurts and go, what a really great year he's having. And that's where it ends. That's where it ends. They look at Burrow, Mahomes, Allen in a whole different light. Then it's your guy. And Dak. By the way, he's in the same category as Dak. Here, if you had to put the most popular quarterbacks, that's a great topic. The most popular quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Mahomes. Who would be two? Who would be the second most popular quarterback? Allen or Burrow? Or Dak? Cowboys. Who's the second most popular quarterback? Jeremiah. By the way, hey, Wick, those are the two best. I'm talking Brady. Then Dak. Burrow. Then Allen. Lamar. Herbert, he's in LA. Shit's Matthew Stafford, he's been injured this year too much. Rodgers. Let's see. I got Mahomes. These are the most popular quarterbacks. Mahomes, Brady, Dak, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Rodgers. You put Herbert because he's in Los Angeles. And every single topic sports shows have nationally is about Aaron Rodgers. Shit, you might even put Baker Mayfield in that conversation. Jared Goff, really? You think of Detroit? Is Hurts ninth? Or is Zach Wilson popular? Geno. No. Russell Wilson. Then Geno. Tua. Shit, where's Tua? Tua's not 11th. Tua's not 11th. I'd say Tua is ahead of Lamar at 6. I think he's 6. Tua. I'd have Jalen Hurts at 12. Most popular quarterback in the NFL. It would go Hurts, Geno, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Tagovailoa, Allen, Burrow, Dak, Brady, Mahomes. Those are your 12 most popular quarterbacks. I'm trying to think with Kyler Murray. I don't think Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray more popular than well, he makes more, but does that mean he's more popular? No, because they're not winning. Someone goes here, who cares? You want to win the MVP, guy? You should care. You should care. You want justice for your guy? You should freaking care. And that's the point I'm making. Nobody cares in Philly? Well, don't bitch about it at the end of the year when guys like Joel Embiid don't win the MVP or Hurts doesn't win it because they don't know who the hell he is. Eagles should do more promoting. More promoting of their athletes. Shit, the Patriots do. Chargers do. Don't care. Well, then don't bitch about it when they don't win. Those accolades and wonder why. Everyone hates Philly. No. No one watches it. How many times do you tune on the television set and go, what's this guy talking about? Because they don't watch you. I'll say this to you. One more time. You're lucky I cover you. Because no one else is. Except the people locally. No one else covers you. And I'm not saying me. I'm saying someone like me covering you. Could be anybody. But at least cover the damn team. Okay? They need to do watch this, 11-1. Nobody's talking except for this. The Eagles having a really good year. How many times you hear people say, that's really set up for the next couple years? It's not. Your team is not set up for the next couple years. As a matter of fact, it'll be a completely different looking team next year. Howie designs it like that. Get over yourselves. You don't have a dynasty on the horizon. This general manager doesn't allow dynasties. He lights them on fire. Would it shock you if Nick Sirianni got fired in 3 years? Would it shock you? Would it shock you if Nick Sirianni got fired in 3 years? And don't say, he'll never be fired. I'm pretty sure after Doug won the Super Bowl, you were pretty sold that Doug would never be fired. So you can't go on that limb. Why would he get fired, Derek? Why would you fire Doug Peterson after he won a Super Bowl a couple years later? Let me ask you this then. Why would he get fired? Why would Doug get fired? He did something no other coach in the history of your franchise was able to do in the Super Bowl era. Why would he get fired? Andy Reid didn't do what he did. Andy Reid didn't have the success Doug Peterson had. Why would he get fired? Power struggle? Oh, so that's going away though, right? So when Nick starts winning Coach of the Year awards and they start winning more, that guy who stands out front of the locker room, patting his players and his coaches on the head, letting everyone know it's his team. You don't think there'll be a power struggle? Howie will not allow dynasties. His ego can't take it. Jerry Jones can't allow dynasties. His ego can't take it. That's why they haven't won since Jimmy left. The reason they succeeded in New England is because Belichick and Brady didn't have anybody in the way. There were no GMs. Kraft didn't get in the way. Kraft just wants to win. There's no middleman in New England when Brady and him were there. They learned to coexist. Howie doesn't like to coexist. He likes all of it. That's why you won't have a dynasty. Am I wrong? He lit your last dynasty on fire. We never said nothing about a dynasty. That was Irvin that stated that. Dallas got 4. I'm not talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys always have free agents. Why do they? Because they spend too much money. Keeps Howie in the spotlight. Look at Bob hitting it. Look at Bob hitting it. Bob, here's what you got here, though, with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is exactly like Tom Brady in so many ways. And I'm going to make the comparison again to Tim Duncan. Follow me here, okay? What he was able to do Tim Duncan managed Greg Popovich's ego. He took a submissive role and yet a dominating performance. And he kept the locker room happy, wanting to win, wanting to show up to work. I feel Jalen does the same thing. How about Nick and his emotional bullshit sometimes on the sidelines, getting up and down like that? Dude, the calmest guy on the sidelines every single Sunday is your quarterback. It's not your coach. And Jalen, because of his schooling, because of his experience, because of his work ethic, all the things you talk about, is the calmest guy on the sidelines. He's going to be the buffer between Sirianni and Howie. Carson Wentz could never do that. When Carson Wentz left that Seattle game, it was the end of Wentz. It wasn't the Rams injury. When he didn't go back on the field, that was the demise of it all. Because Doug didn't have anyone in the middle. Plus, he had Frank Reich, the man who recommended Nick Sirianni to Jeffrey Lurie. And how we know this? Frank said it on our show. Jalen is going to keep the team together better this time than the 17 team was. He's going to keep this thing together because of his experience. Bob says Jalen's humble. Might be the kryptonite to how he's it. Bob, that's exactly what I'm saying, Bob. Bob, the thing you have with Jalen, he is a smart businessman. He is, bro, I'm going to give it to you. And I am going to concede this. This guy here is absolutely spectacular in running a locker room. Do you agree with me, Bob, that one of the great things about Jalen Hurts has been this? Every teammate loves him. You never hear anyone talking shit on him. You didn't hear anybody in – did you ever see that Oklahoma video of him when he was there and he made that transfer? And they're all sitting there and they're all cheering him on when he squatted. I was like, damn, that guy just got there 5 weeks ago and he's already got the entire building loving him. I was like, that's incredible. He's carried that over to the NFL. Outside of the idiotic Antonio Brown, have you ever heard anybody say anything negative about Tom Brady? Chalk it up. Hey, Sills, is there a way to quantify Jalen Hurts' value when it comes to being the buffer and the neutral party between GM and coach? Chalk it up, sports. Let me ask you this. Do you think that will become an issue again down the line where a coach and a general manager gets in the way of each other? There's precedent. I ask all you. Again, I'm not indicting anything here. I'm asking. Do you think the general manager, let's do this. Chalk it up, sports goes, I do. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, who wants complete credit for it? Howie's ego's dangerous, period. Dude, it's not so much his drafting that's dangerous. It's Roseman's ego that's dangerous. He lit your 2017 championship team. Well, the next year, after the Saints playoff game, he lit it on fire. Okay? He lit it on fire. But you know what? I think the reason, and this is where I was going yesterday, can I tell you why I think Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen have done a better job than what I think Doug Peterson would have done with Jalen? Because they know how. Get this. You guys remember something in the offseason here? By the way, we're just talking here. When you're 11-1, we're just talking here because it's working. There's no shade I'm throwing. I'm just talking here about what to keep an eye on as this. Hey, do we all agree? The more the success of the Eagles, the more that Howie wants to grab the spotlight. Is that fair? Tell me I'm wrong. Sirianni's not going to grab the spotlight. Nick's too emotional to grab the spotlight. You know what Nick Sirianni's kind of? He's almost like a Ditka. He's almost like a friendly Ditka. Shirts and screaming at the fans, talking shit. I mean, there's like a Ditka quality to him. Right? He's just not a jackass. Mike could be a jackass. Right? I think this coaching staff knows how to handle, because remember what happened? Xander, you can remember this. You guys remember what happened in the offseason? Yeah, I went to Howie and I asked him if I could get Zach Pascal from the Colts over here, and he was cool with it. They came up with the money. I'm paraphrasing. He went to the general manager and said, do you think we can get this guy? Instead of going, when Mike Tomlin goes to management, Andy Waddell and them guys, and he goes to that whole management group, he goes, this is who I want. I want this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, this type of guy, that type of guy. Get him for me. Okay? This guy's going up there. And remember what he said too? Hey, we even have Howie involved in some of the game plan stuff. We already know Sirianni doesn't care about the spotlight because he gave up play calling willingly. You think so? Willingly? That was his forte, though, Tone, when he came into Philly. But you know what I think Sirianni did? Hey, Tone, you guys want me to tell you a little bit of behind the scenes here? How many times has Frank Reich been on our program? 3. And when he was the head coach of the Colts. So this offseason, I think, Xander, this was around when your pop talked to him. He called me up after that, had a great experience too with Xander's dad and a show they did. Very inspirational. I said, hey, man, why did Sirianni give up the play calling? You know what Nick said? I'm more of a Rivers guy. I'm more of a traditional drop back. You notice the 2 and 5, what we were doing? And then versus after? Shane's more of an RPO guy. He understands that style a lot more, and he understands the components and pieces we'll need to put that offense together. Nick Sirianni is involved in approach and situational play calling. He's not that much anymore involved in the construction of the particular plays that are in the playbook. That's where Steichen is. And when you see and hear, and you're watching Nick on the sideline, it's Shane in the quarterback's ear, and it's Nick. Also, you basically have Frank Reich and Doug Peterson here, except on an RPO level. Shane Steichen's 19 and 4 since he took over 2 and 5. You think there's any coincidence to that? And what's the one guy, the one man that Jalen Hurts constantly refers to when he talks about watching, when it comes to watching film on a quarterback? Philip Rivers. And why is that? Nick was the wide receiver coach in San Diego. Shane was the wide receiver coach in Indianapolis. The OC, Nick Sirianni. Oh, and by the way, they all worked for Mike McCoy, who's now the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville. And Mike McCoy was the head coach of the Chargers. They got a circle here. They all talk. Nick goes like this to him. Hey, damn, we're struggling with the offense. This was last year. He goes, Shane knows the RPO. You know he does. He worked with Jacoby Brissett. To Nick's credit. Hey, this guy will do a better job. I'm still involved. It's not that he's not involved. But Shane's the guy that's constructing these plays.